Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a Dadbod to Daddy transformation vlog. And today was shoulder day. And you know guys, shoulders, I'm taking them extremely seriously because as I'm cutting, as I'm focusing more on physique and moved away from powerlifting at this point, and it's not saying I'm not going to ever compete again, just currently not on the radar. I realized, yeah, absolutely, body fat and shoulders are critical. And so, yes, I have an entire shoulder day every week. And this is one of those days where I come in and make sure that we isolate everything. You know, whereas on some of the other days, I don't always worry about isolating my pecs, right? Isolate triceps. Don't worry about isolating lats, things like that. But in this case, yeah, we're going to isolate every single head other than the front delts because I'm focusing on incline bench on chest day. But we do two big barbell compound movements and then we come in and isolate everything else. And that includes even today me working some shrugs in because, again, complete shoulder development, side delts, rear delts, upper traps, everything needs to be developed. So we start off, but again, because again, we're power building here, heavy barbell movements. Now, for people who are curious why I do these seated instead of standing, just for the back bracing and also because of my particular ranges of motion, I can't do that great, amazing standing lockout anyways. So to work with what I have, this version carries over really well to my incline bench. It still hammers the front delts, upper chest, because I want all of that to just get hammered, right? And again, because my incline has become primary for me on chest day, I feel like it gives phenomenal carryover. So again, managed to get 3 sets of 7 with that. That's PR as far as the seated one goes. I've managed to get 7 once, but not 3 sets of it. Then we went over to upright rows. Same weight I've been using, managed my 3x8, so no PR here. And these sets are pretty much to failure. So for those curious, I've had people go, why do you grip it close? Why don't you grip it really wide? Mainly because it just feels better on my shoulders with a closer grip. Plus, again, a little more trap, other stuff in there. And my side delts are getting hit hard. Keep in mind, I am isolating side delts. This still hits side delt as a primary mover. So it's not like it takes away from it. Okay, so we do need to be clear on that. I just feel that for me, I feel like I get a better stretch at the bottom in my shoulders. I struggle to quite get that same stretch. And I will be the first to say that if you're really struggling with side delts and going to do just one delt exercise, the wide grip makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. However, in my case, I am doing laterals afterwards, and I have kind of a lateral technique that really gives me a great mind-muscle connection. So in this case, I am still just treating it as a general big exercise. All right, so I'm treating it as a big compound. Also, people say, why don't you go higher? Well, number one, I really can't to any great extent. Well, other than when I'm getting close to failure there, you notice I can't. It gets a little lower, but that's because I'm reaching failure. All right, pretty much failure reps. So there's that, and then also when you look at all the data, everyone who thinks that this exercise is bad for your shoulders, it's all because of the people doing it really, really high. So just an FYI. And yeah, I mean, I could probably go a little higher if I went lighter, but it's going to be no additional real stimulus and just putting risk on my shoulders. So I'm not worried about it because I'm still getting the lengthened positions. All right, laterals, I like plates. I've experimented with a lot of stuff here, and I feel like for me, with plates, I get a better mind muscle connection in my side delts. When I bend over just a hair and I get those plates, I feel like that side and rear delt get hit a lot more, especially when I lean forward just a little. And it's also because I can kind of get that pinky turned up a little bit easier with the plates. It feels like just a natural flow. So for me, when I just keep this nice flow, which is almost just like this pump movement without any real pausing, it feels really, really good. I get one of the best burns I've ever gotten in my side delts when I use the plates. And I'm having to go to the bigger plates now because of where I'm at on the strength level. But again, at this point, it is purely about a preference and technique to where I feel the muscle a little bit more. And that's it. It's very, very simple. If you don't feel the muscle more with plates and you feel them more with dumbbells or you feel them more with cables or whatever, by all means, do that. Do that. And there's going to be some slight variations in our anatomy and stuff. So for me though, I go with the exercise to where I really feel that side delt and to a lesser extent the posterior delt. Because again, I'm trying to isolate them a little bit more here, even though this is still a movement that hits the entire shoulder girdle. All right, that's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm shooting for, because I'm getting plenty of front delt work with the other stuff. So I'm not worried about my laterals improving front delts. All right, then we do band pull aparts. Now this is a lot of stuff I've been torn on. I feel like when I turn to the side and everything and I do the plates, I look leaner because my waist looks small. For the camera, it looks good to sit down and do the plates. However, when I go, again, purely on what I feel, this exercise seems to give me the most contraction and stretch in my rear delts, okay? So again, purely a personal preference. I do like the plates. I prescribe them to a lot of clients, a seated plate, one seated dumbbells. I personally get a really good rear delt activation here, at least I feel it. And I'm not saying feeling is everything, but it can be a factor. So again, I'm messing with these for just a little while, the band pull aparts to finish those off. Keeping in mind those last two exercises do hit the rear delts, by the way. So it's not like this is the only thing I'm doing, plus the weighted chins and other stuff. But again, for me, this really, really seems to finish them off. I get a good burn in them. So that's what we're running with. So 3 sets of this, and then I finish off with shrugs. And it's kind of one of those where I said, I think shrugs can be a little overrated. But, I feel like my grip needs even extra work these days. And if I look at it and say, okay, could I use some extra upper trap? Yeah, it's not like my delts are horrible. I'm working on them. I want them bigger. But I do think at this point, a little bit of extra trap, not a bad thing, especially since my deadlift volume isn't crazy high. And I'm doing just like really sometimes 1 or 2 top sets a week. That's it. I'm not doing any rowing because I'm focusing on chins on my back and bicep day because biceps need more work. A little bit of upper trap, not going to be a bad thing. The only downside here, my grip is shot from doing this. I'm not doing hanging leg raises at the end. Normally, at the end of the shoulder day, I would do a set of hanging leg raises. But when I do shrugs, it's like that's it. My forearms, my grip, and everything are shot. And I've got to come in tomorrow and do weighted chins, with 90, 100, 110 pounds or whatever I'm going to use. So again, not the best time today for me to work that in because again, I just feel like I almost can't hold onto the bar if I try to do it. After this, I probably could. Maybe I'm just being lazy. But again, try to keep this workout inside of an hour, and we're already kind of at that point. It took me right about an hour to get all these sets in, mainly because moving the bars around, loading, unloading, just the setup and everything, bringing the bench in. It's just one of those things where it takes time between exercises to set up, although I have the shoulder day in a good flow with that. I can keep this one under an hour usually. In fact, I think this one probably was. I think it was probably like 40 minutes. I didn't check the time that close. But again, the shrugs felt good grip training, good for the upper traps. Happy with the workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.